Hi everyone and welcome to another reading with channeled messages. Now these messages are absolutely random and timeless and you don't really need to choose any specific card. Just listen to the messages, take what resonates and simply discard the rest. For some people the whole message can resonate, for other only a very small part of it. Just use your intuition to adjust the meanings of these cards to your own personal situation if that's the case. But of course, since this is very random and based on synchronicity, there is a chance that nothing can resonate or everything can resonate at the same time. So for this reading, I used one card which marks the message and another to clarify the message of that card. So here it goes. The very first message is the Eight of Swords reversed, clarified by the Five of Swords. Now this message goes out for some people who are finally getting to the truth behind a friendship, a relationship, a social connection, maybe an alliance, where the person might have led you on or might not have been totally honest with you, or maybe they might have used you for their own personal interests and gains, or there might be a lot of strings attached in whatever this connection is. And finally, you are starting to see things, you're starting to see this person as they truly are. Basically, the blindfold is being taken off your eyes, and everything that you once suspected is being confirmed to you. So very soon more information is going to follow. You are going to start to piece all the little puzzles back together and see the big picture and see why you truly don't resonate with this person or why they aren't being totally truthful with you. So what follows next is a choice that you have to make, or simply confronting this person or terminating this relationship regardless of its nature, and setting yourself free. The main reason why this appeared in your life was to teach you to trust your intuition, to trust your gut feelings, because when you sense that you don't really resonate with a specific person, regardless of who it is, if you sense that something is still there, which will become a blockage later on, well, your intuition or your instincts are always correct and you should heed them. Of course, this doesn't mean that you shouldn't, make connections and bonds with other people, even if you sense that something isn't right. But you should always, take everything that they say or promise to you or communicate with a pinch of salt. This doesn't mean that you shouldn't trust. This just means that you shouldn't have any expectations and you should always leave a healthy space to, doubt. Especially when your intuition or your instincts say so. So basically, these cards say that a friendship or any kind of connection, interhuman connection that you have with someone who you suspected to be, not very truthful, is going to be revealed to you. And of course, then you can make, a choice or confront this person or simply enjoy the clarity that you receive. Now, moving on to the other card, to the other message, we have the Fool and clarified by the Emperor. Now, the Fool, this combination of cards present two different kinds of situation. The first is, for some people, the Fool represents that certain things have taken place in their lives not so long ago, and basically, regardless if they wanted this or if they were prepared for this or not, they are simply living something totally new. A new beginning or a new chapter of their lives has already taken place. Just that, the symbolism of the Fool, it is still like a blind journey into the unknown. There is nothing practical or concrete or very stable in your life to offer you the chance to build a new life or actually start working with the new beginning. Basically, what it is just that you feel that this is a new beginning, you feel that this is a new chapter. So very many things in your life, especially from the past, just disappeared, either because it was your own choice or because simply the karmic forces have taken it away from you. But this isn't anything negative, it is just stepping into the new. But your problem might be that there isn't anything here yet. There's nothing for you to work with in the present moment, and there are no choices, there are no options yet, and you're just waiting to make a move. And that is exactly why the Emperor represents your inner authority, because very soon those chances, options, or opportunities that you have been waiting for to enter into your life, for some people that can mean like a job offer, a career offer, resources, money, materials, which they are going to use to build a new life for themselves, or build a life of material and social and any type of other security. But the Emperor has a big condition. This is your new beginning, this is your priorities, this is your options, and you may not let anyone interfere with this, because this is a moment in your life when everything is about you, who you are, your choices, your options. So you must stand from a place of self-knowledge, self-discipline, and a very strong, like almost burning determination to succeed, to have a breakthrough, to enter that stability that you need. And chances are no one in your life can help you with this, so this is totally up to you. And whenever your options or the resources that you need are going to enter your life, and it won't be long, you will just need to ambition yourself, detach from anything else, and start building. Start building the life which you desire for yourself, because everything that you need for that is definitely going to come. But you will need to focus just on yourself and nothing else right now, until whatever you need to, have is going to be built and stable, and then you can of course focus on anything that you desire. Now, for some people, this new beginning hasn't taken place yet. It is something that they just desire and really, really want. But, their lives are, in a very strange kind of stagnation, where the past and present and even the future are just one washed together, or melted together kind of timeline, where you just cannot separate yourself from anything. You can see your future, the big themes of the past, who you were as a child. The Fool is very much about the child that you are as well. So basically, the story of your childhood is, even in the present moment, more or less a big ongoing theme. There is no true progress in your life. There are so very many small accomplishments, don't get me wrong. So your life is not, boring or stagnating in every single way. No, there is a lot of action in your life, just that nothing is about you, nothing is about what you desire. Basically, you feel like almost as if you're just a guest actor or a guest player in someone else's life story. You're just an addition always, and your life isn't about you. And this is the big change you wanna receive, you wanna experience, when life is actually about you. And that is the main ongoing theme of your childhood, because you always had to deal with others, help others, sacrifice for others, etc. And now the Emperor is telling you that the universe absolutely acknowledges this, and it is handing back the steering wheel of your life back to you, where you can just choose where your life is going to be heading. But unlike for the previous version, It is not really dependent of any opportunities or anything that you have or don't have in your life in the present moment, because when the universe gives you the steering wheel karmically, well then whatever you decide, whatever you choose inside of yourself is what your destiny is going to offer you. So basically, all you need to do is find your desire, find what you want to do, the kind of life that you want to live, and just input it in the universe as a wish, as a seed of intention, and that is exactly what you're gonna get. But the big requirement is do not let anyone or anything to influence you, because this is about your desires. This is about what you wish to live in the depths of your heart, the very core of your being. So the opinion or even the help of any other person is, during this time at least, not really welcome. Until this present moment, basically, your life was a big journey that, the fool's journey to discover himself, to see the rules and, the hidden strings of life, how destiny, reality, earthly existence works. And now that you have figured out everything and you stand from a place of knowledge and self-knowledge, you can embark on this new story of your life. For you, this isn't like the next chapter. No, your book has finished totally. Basically, you don't even need the past. The past is absolutely no longer relevant in any single way. Whatever you're going to step into is going to be like a totally new book, totally new story, totally new identity, totally new everything. But you must make the wise choices, and as I said before, these choices are purely what you will inside yourself, and not the human kind of choices where you just have to choose your preferences in what you got. This is like a deep karmic spiritual choice where you just have to be that emperor and decide the next book of your life, basically. Now, moving on to the next message, we have the star clarified by the judgment card. And very ironically, this is a rather similar message to the previous one, but here the star represents a very powerful childhood dream of yours, or a hope, or a desire. It is something which was always in the background of your mind, in your soul. You have always desired this one way or another. So this can mean absolutely anything. There is no any limits here. It can be anything, big or small, usual, unusual, possible, or even impossible. Of course, we cannot actually, enter into a realm of fantasy where it is 1,000,000% impossible. It has to be, something which can exist in physical reality. So it is not something like, becoming a superhero and getting superpowers and something like that. But even though that can absolutely be included, just that when it manifests, it will, adapt to a form which, meets the requirements of physical reality. So yes, it can be absolutely anything, but when it manifests, it has to, regard the rules of physics, basically. But, let me give you an example. For some people, it can be something that has to do with, their a talent, a job, a career, living a certain type of experience, a big love story, for example, having their dream house, living at a specific dreamy location which attracts them very much. Or, it can be absolutely anything. These are just examples. But the thing is that this dream of yours stayed with you even from childhood. And, sometimes in your life you really wanted to work towards it. Other times in your life you just felt that that dream was way too big for you, or really impossible. there were times in your life when you really wanted to believe that you can achieve this dream, but there were other times when you had to just leave it behind, put it back on the shelf and just keep it there. Well, the judgment card is a really positive message because it represents that one way or another you are actually going to have this opportunity to live this dream of yours. But don't get it wrong, it is not going to be a massive miracle. It is not going to be, like a big powerful divine intervention where one day you're your usual self and the next day you're immediately living your dream. It is going to enter your life over the course of maybe 2 years, maybe 20 months. So it is something that is going to happen slowly but surely, where basically the karmic forces, your destiny is guiding you there. And also, you shouldn't really have any expectations attached to this, because how it's going to enter reality is definitely not going to match your mental image or your vision about it. But regardless, one way or another, one of your big hopes and dreams is going to be gifted to you. Your, destiny is going to guide you towards living it, having it. But what you do with it afterwards, that depends very much on you, because it all depends on the nature of your wish, of your goal, your dream. For some people, it can be just a moment in time. It can be just living a certain experience. While for others, it can be, accomplishing something or having something. It all depends on what your big childhood dream was. Now, moving on, the next message is the Death card, clarified by the Two of Swords. Now, in this case, the Death card represents a very big life change. But this is where this life change was really, really painful. It was really, really profound and devastating, because it took place, over 2 years maybe. For some people, it was like a massive loss. Maybe, for example, a job, career, house, money, finances, financial disaster. For others, losing someone special, important, someone they loved. For others, still maybe a very impactful and powerful separation, divorce. It doesn't matter how this death card, this loss, this ending, this termination played out in your life, because it left a massive impact and you just had to come to terms with everything. And your life changed profoundly, and it is still an ongoing process. You're not at the other side of the river, so to speak. So for some people, even more terminations, especially if it comes to like certain relationships, are still going to enter their lives. But the problem is that the losses are omnipresent. They're there every time, and each second of your life is a reminder of your losses. And yes, you may have healed yourself and came to terms with everything, but what follows next? You're absolutely blind to the future. You have no options, possibilities, nothing in your life to rebuild what you have lost, or even, start a new life, anything that should take the place of whatever you lost, whatever terminations you had, is missing. And you, not only that you don't have it in the present moment, you don't even have any hopes, or you can't even think of anything that could help your situation right now. It isn't, tragedy, it isn't doom and gloom, because, you can manage, but you can manage by, having all those holes, missing parts. Even for some people, certain areas of their lives are absolutely missing. They're just living a very unusual and weird reality where it's just one theme playing constantly over and over and over again, and nothing new enters their life. And the thing is, you can cope, as I said earlier. You're not even that worried anymore because you're past the point of worry, you're past fears, you're past anything like that because it's been an ongoing theme and you're so used to it right now. But this is where whatever needs to take the place of those endings, losses, closures, whatever, is entering your life and you can feel the change. Right now, you know, you can just feel it in your gut that something is heading your way. But unfortunately, the Two of Swords, the universe doesn't want to reveal to you what it is, and it hasn't given you any clear clues. You might have got a lot of guidance, but it was never clear, it was never, you know, obvious. It just didn't reveal its secrets. It just didn't tell you what is coming next. And that is why you're so very blind to whatever has to enter your life. You don't even know what to expect. And since the cards and the universe are not even revealing what it is, all they are saying is that you are correct, something is absolutely coming, but it is a total surprise of what it is. And also, what it does tell us is that chances are it can enter your life in the next 2 months, so your waiting is actually kind of over. But what it is, what you need to do, what enters your life is absolutely unknown and mysterious. And for one reason or another, the universe is actually keeping it a secret and hiding it from you. It doesn't want you to know or become aware of. And why that is might have to do with your own story, your own personal agreement, or something that you might have asked the universe to do for you. So it is working on something that you asked of it. But of course, before it enters your life and is revealed, prepare yourself, because certain closures or endings or terminations are still to follow, but those are not the ones like the ones you had in the past, because these are just compromises and strings which you just use to keep yourself as balanced, as grounded, as functioning as you can, but they don't make you happy. So when you will see all those strings and compromises and whatever is keeping you, you know, together, even though it's not ideal, when that is starting to terminate, when that is expiring, then you will know that the new beginning or whatever has to enter your life is gonna happen very, very soon afterwards. Now, moving on, the next set of cards is the Four of Pentacles, clarified by the Six of Wands. Now, this is a really beautiful message, because the Four of Pentacles has much to do with the stability of your life, but this is closely linked to your sense of self-worth. So, first of all, this speaks about the past, because there was once a time in your life, and a lot of years, when you had a very low self-worth, when you had almost a non-existing self-esteem, and that usually affected your life in a very negative way, where there were so many blockages regarding, you know, your career, your job, your relationships. So basically so very many aspects of your life which have stability and value and worth and money to do with them reflected those blockages. So you struggled a lot of years. But in truth, you are actually a very valuable, either professional, either your skills and talents make you that much valuable. Or it doesn't even have to do with money or a job or an income. It can be a hobby. It can be, for example, a role that you perform, a parent maybe, teacher, a guide, something that has to do with like your local community or charitable work. It can be absolutely anything that makes you valuable, that gives you a certain kind of worth. Or for example, the simplest way to look at this is your value and worth as a kind-hearted, loving, compassionate and dignified human being, It doesn't have to be any specific role or job or anything like that. But either way, you had problems in the past with your self-worth, and you have done a lot of work, a lot of research and self-discipline to heal it, and it worked. You found out all the reasons why you had those problems. You saw where your thoughts and your education maybe, or something that stems from the distant past, influenced you and depicted a very distortionate picture of yourself. And you have done a really, really good job changing that, healing yourself. But this is where, it is very clear in your mind how good you are. And also, you kind of excel. You're not just good. It's not just like a basic sense of self-worth, because you are really, really good. You're very high level. Other people can't even reach your standards. But you might be the only person in your life who doesn't see it that way. Everyone else might see the truth that you don't want to look at. But either way, you still have moments of doubt, regardless of the feedback you get, regardless of the support you get. You just doubt, because you're not a very self-important kind of person. It's not who you are, so that's why your doubts are kind of healthy. But the card which clarifies this is absolutely wonderful. The Six of Wands, the card of triumph, victory and success. And this means that the time has come when karma, when physical material reality is going to reflect who you truly are, your true worth. So this can be a moment of big success, a triumph, a big accomplishment, or it can simply be honors, gratitude, a promotion, a beautiful gesture that a person is going to offer you. It can be absolutely anything that has to do with your personal success and triumph. And it's going to be so very relevant that the memory of this, the impact of this, is going to stay with you for a lot of years. And ultimately, that will shut down your doubts for a long time, because when physical reality reflects something, you just cannot deny the truth of it. It is not something you want to believe. It is not something that you are making up within yourself. It is something that life, the universe, or basically society, reality itself shows you, and you just, when something so palpable and concrete is showing it to you, well, you have no choice but to believe and accept it. So this is something really big that is coming for you, which will prove your true worth, value, and who you truly are. So it is absolutely fantastic. And now we get to the final message, the final set of cards, which is the Princess of Cups, clarified by the Wheel of Fortune. Now, these cards speak to two categories of people. There's two messages. The first message, for some people, this Princess of Cups represents your own emotional healing journey. Because in the past, you had a lot of maybe like trauma, or a very bad failed relationships, or something like that, which left a lot of hurt, pain and wound inside of you. And from an emotional perspective, it really blocked your life. It really gave you a lot of bad experiences, bad twists of fate. You might have attracted all the inappropriate people in your life. But it also speaks of your healing journey, because you did a lot of work to finally close those chapters, to dissociate yourself with your pain and hurt and wounds, leave the past emotional baggage, and ultimately to release all attachments of the hurt and pain. So basically, you healed yourself, and that is why the Princess of Cups is the card of emotional purity, where you are basically just like an innocent child. You are a very, very emotionally intelligent person. You have a lot of knowledge. You have a lot of emotional strength. And, most importantly, you have oceans, mountains, universes of love inside of you. Love that you are so willing to share but what you truly lack is experience. You experience all the bad sides of emotions and relationships and all of that, but to build a healthy and proper interhuman connection and a positive relationship, a useful one, that is where you have absolutely no experience. You wouldn't even know how to behave when you are being loved, when you're being protected and cared for, because most of your life it was just a one-sided thing where you just kept giving and giving and giving, and I'm not saying that you didn't get anything in return, but what you got in return was very inappropriate, because your past relation, they just didn't know you, they just didn't have a slightest clue to who you were deep inside of yourself, so of course it didn't work. And this is why everything is changing. So this Princess of Cups tells you that you're so very ready for a new relationship. You're ready to embrace a new life from a strictly emotional perspective, where you want to live a healthy and empowering relationship. But this is where you know that as a human being, you just cannot choose. You cannot make a decision. You don't want to seek for love, but rather you might have surrendered this to the universe, to the divine, because you know that you're only willing to accept a fated, a powerful karmic soul level relationship. So you don't want anything. You would rather be alone for the rest of your life than to live an average, superficial, just an alliance based relationship. You don't want like a basic partnership. You want a big fated soul level connection, and that is what you have asked for. And that is exactly why you have done all that very powerful healing work, because for some people it takes a lot of years, maybe tens of years, to heal themselves and close the past. But you've done it in a relatively short time with a lot of work, of course. And that is why this Wheel of Fortune is so very powerful and significant, because that fated connection is entering your life, and it is entering the way you asked for it, where all the signs are going to be so very obvious that this is fated, because it will happen in a very synchronistic, in a very unusual, unmistakable way. You will know that it is divinely orchestrated, and all your weight and your patience and your inner work and all the things that you had to surrender and release are finally going to be paying off. Of course, for other people, these cards deliver a totally different message, which has absolutely nothing to do with relationship or emotional healing. For you guys, it represents that you might have been training to become a healthcare expert, like a nurse, a therapist, everyone who is any kind of healer, for example, maybe massage, alternative medicine, like acupuncture, whatever, or a psychologist, or a person who supports others. So you have done relevant training for this. You feel that you are ready, but all you need is a career in this, and that is exactly what is going to happen in your life. The Wheel of Fortune is turning, and it is giving you the opportunity which you have studied and ambitioned yourself for. So this is just a divine guidance, a message to trust yourself. You are ready for this. Absolutely, it is not going to be an easy journey, but you have everything you need to cope and turn it into a very positive experience. And the emotional fulfillment part, which you're going to get out of this new work or whatever you trained for, is going to be absolutely worth it, because emotionally you're going to be satisfied, fulfilled in ways which are even outside your sphere of awareness. You don't even know how intense and satisfying it's going to be, but at the same time you know too well that it's going to be hard and soliciting. But the universe is encouraging you, and the options and opportunities to start this career or to complete your studies and then start it are definitely heading your way. Well, these were the channeled messages for today. Thank you so much for listening. Wish everyone a blessed and safe day. Until next time, bye for now.